The Michigan Livestock Expo's Sale-abration rewards hardworking youth exhibitors. Wheat harvest is in full swing, and Michigan Ag Commodities' Chris Betts has a market update. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
The 12th annual Michigan Livestock Expo wrapped up Tuesday, concluding with a Sale-abration auction.
I'm $25,000 here. Great champions there. Thank you. Now 30.
The state's finest youth livestock exhibitors raised over $235,000. It was a sweet reward for event staff and exhibitors who, at times, weren't sure if the expo could happen during the COVID-19 pandemic.
So I think the biggest thing preparing for a show during the times that we're in is just keeping everyone's safety and health in mind. We changed a lot of things about the way we operate the shows. Did class sizes a little smaller than what we're used to, so the kids were able to spread out. Had a massive show ring for what we're used to for the pigs, especially, just to give them a little more room. We provided masks for everyone and strongly encouraged and enforced the masks with exhibitors. Just if they were coming up to the show ring, we kind of asked people that if they were not up at the show ring for their individual class, that they stay at their camps.
So normally MLE's at the pavilion at MSU, and that's always super fun. You stay there for a couple of days, and this year with everything going on, they still had the show, which we were super grateful for, but it was at a different location and it was one day. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning and I got home at midnight. So we were there all day, but we had the show and it went very great, so we're very thankful for that.
Hey, I forgot to tell you, this young man's a senior. This is his last time, so I'll tell you what, we need to dig in here.
Nice thing about showing off the trailer is you don't have to constantly rebed a new barn and then waste a lot of shavings, and then once you're done, it's just basically throw the chairs in, throw the feet in, and just jet. So in that aspect, it is nice, but it is nice when we're in like nicer barns or the arena's a little bit nicer. For what we've been dealt, I'm not at all going to complain. I'm happy for what we were given.
He is the best lamb in the state. 8,000 tall, I'd like 9.
Usually we're showing every summer, every weekend, and we really never get a break. And this summer we had quite a big a break. So.
But I'll tell you what, you had one of the strongest steer shows you've ever had at the Michigan State Fair, Michigan Junior Livestock Expo, and I'll tell you what, here's the best of the best.
In her third year of showing at the Michigan Livestock Expo, Olivia Bisher's steer was named Grand Champion Market Beef.
COVID really put a damper on things, but I turned around and tried to make the best out of it. With not having school and a lot of other events canceled, it allowed me to work with my animal more and spend more time in the barn.
Bisher's hard work paid off as Meyer purchased her steer, affectionately known as Brock, for $33,000, a record for the Grand Champion Market Beef at MLE's auction. All of the exhibitors we spoke to were grateful Michigan Livestock Expo gave them the opportunity to show this year.
I was so glad we could still be able to show when we found out, because I was going to be super mad if we couldn't, because all the other shows really got canceled. I went to one other show.
Herman, the Michigan Livestock Expo show manager, says despite the challenges that came with planning and executing a show and sale during the pandemic, they would do it all again.
This is the format we have to do to continue to give the kids the opportunity to exhibit their livestock. We have an unbelievable group of people that are willing to do this again if this is what we have to do.
Meyer was again the top buyer, purchasing the Grand Champion Market Beef and Grand Champion Market Lamb. Other major supporters included National Beef, Crystal Flash, Greenstone Farm Credit Services, Agro Liquid, Foster Swift Collins & Smith, and Michigan Farm Bureau.
If you want a car from a company that's been building them for 115 years, get a Ford. If you want a car with driver assist technology, get a Ford. You're gonna want a Ford.
2020 wheat harvest is well underway. According to the National Ag Statistics Service, as of Monday, July 20th, 46% of the state's wheat crop is harvested, and growers are moving at a faster clip than the 5-year average.
Guys have been at it. Moisture levels have been dropping down each day. We're making good progress. Quality is very good. Little or no vomitoxin, 0.5 or less, so really not even an issue. Falling number continues to be very strong, well over 300. Yields, we've probably lost a little bit of yield, I think, from 2 events, the freeze we had in Michigan and that hot weather right during head fill. So 75 to 85 bushel to the acre hits a lot of it. There have been reported better yields than that, but I think 75 to 85 hits a lot of our wheat in the state. I think we're going to be, slightly under trend line, especially what the USDA had forecasted for us in the state. I think they were 76 or 77 on average, and I think we'll come in slightly lower. Certainly, we're better than last year. We had a lot of variability in last year's crop, as you recall. It was an unusual year. We're probably slightly better than average, but unfortunately coming in below trend line. So I don't think people will be disappointed, but certainly not. We thought we had great potential this spring. We really did. We thought we could maybe exceed the yield anticipate or projections by USDA, but I think we'll come in slightly less than that just because of those two events that I mentioned. So we probably are going to come in at 470,000 harvested acres. That was the projection. So we'll see if that continues to be the case. But yeah, we're definitely down again this year in both planted and harvested acres, and so a smaller crop than last year for sure.
What happens when a road accident results in a hazardous waste spill? Contact attorney Dirk Beckwith at 248-539-9918 to learn the next steps.
Considered the #1 yield robber of Michigan's soybeans, the soybean cyst nematode is a major problem for soybean growers in Michigan and across the United States. Found in every soybean-producing county in Michigan's Lower Peninsula except Presqu'Isle, SCN causes an estimated $40 million in damages each year. Experts recommend examining roots in July and August and submitting soil samples to Michigan State University Plant and Pest Diagnostics to determine SCN infestation levels. Good news for American Farm Bureau Federation President Zippy Duvall as he continues to recover from COVID-19 after testing positive on July 8th. An AFBF spokesman says Duvall has spent the last 2 weeks in quarantine, battling a fever, cough, and loss of appetite. He recently tested negative. Duvall is building back up his strength and hopes to be back in the saddle next week. And now with the latest on markets. From Michigan Ag Commodities, here's Chris Betts.
Thanks, Janelle. Rain for much of the Corn Belt has weighed on corn and beans, although an active export wire has helped give beans a lift. Chinese purchases of U.S. corn, beans, and wheat have been a positive. However, relations with China continue to be strained, which has resulted in closures of a U.S. and Chinese consulate. U.S. exports have also been spurred on by the U.S. dollar hitting its lowest level in 2 years. This much to do with the spread of the coronavirus in the United States versus other countries. Spikes in case counts threatens further shutdowns, which is adding to pressure on corn from a large U.S. harvest to come. For more market information, go to michag.com. With Michigan Agricultural Commodities, I'm Chris Betts.
For more news and video, visit MichiganFarmNews.com or the Michigan Farm Bureau channel on YouTube. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Brose. Have a great week of farming.